Hi everyone. So in the morning when I wake up, I have an app on my phone to read the gospel, and I also read the Universalis readings. But sometimes I don't like them because they used to take the readings from the Jerusalem Bible, which is what I like. So I just go to my missal and I read them from there. And I think the wording is so important, what Bibles we're using, what scriptures we're looking at. For me, I like the Jerusalem Bible because it's the closest translation to the original. And it's the one I like to go to when I'm doing my readings. There's so many different Bibles. People choose which one they like and what resonates with them. But that's the one that I used when I went to South Africa. That's the Bible I had. And then I bought one when I was in England, which I still have. And that's what I like to use. So it's important to remember because the translations are different, the interpretations are different, and you're going to get a different view of the gospel and the scriptures depending on which one you pick up that inform us when we're reading the scriptures. And today's scripture as well, you just see how Jesus was rejected and how people were questioning, well, who is he? Isn't he the carpenter's son? And where is he getting all this from? So it's an interesting way to see how Jesus was rejected. Jesus was despised throughout his ministry. He was not given the respect that he should have been given, and he was not treated the way he should have been treated. People knew what line he came from, what family line he came from, but he wasn't given that. And Jesus retorts to them and says a prophet is not treated well amongst his own family and amongst his own kin. And where he is, like in his hometown, he's treated the worst. And we see that in some of our communities. We see that in some of our own lives when there are callings of discipleship and ministries. You see that people get treated the worst when they should be treated the best. And the injustice comes through in many different ways, in many different laws. Like when my dad died, my uncles tried to take us to America. But look at the injustice. Because my dad was not alive, they couldn't take us. Because my dad was deceased. I don't think my dad would have wanted to go to America anyway, but it was after he died, because we were going to be alone in Zimbabwe without immediate family. They tried to take us, and the American government said no, because your blood relative is not alive. So my mother and us were not considered blood relatives by the Americans. And yet the Americans say that they are a compassionate nation, that they care about widows and orphans. They wouldn't make any exceptions. Just like in my job at Teleperformance. When you know you've got a stellar employee, you know you've got somebody who's good, who helps your customers, who always gets the top scores, they wouldn't give any accommodation. Not for my religion as a Christian, nor for my health, knowing that I had low anxiety, and that made everything worse. Because when you do have those conditions, going to church, keeping your faith, keeping your ministry, all those things help you. And for me, I'm not just a volunteer. I'm not just helping in the church. It's a calling on my life. I'm a spiritual director. So it's important for me to be able to go to the church, to go to the Good Friday services, the Christmas, Easter. It's not just like, oh, well, if you miss, it doesn't matter. I know that every Christian is obligated, but for me, it's a special calling. And they wouldn't give it. And so then the anxiety ends up becoming high blood pressure, because instead of them lifting the pressure, they put even more pressure. It's like, oh yeah, that's the best one. Put more calls, put more emails, put more pressure until your health is completely gone. And that's not the way it should be in our workplaces, in our families, in our communities. It should be the exact opposite of what is being built up in our communities today. It's the same with Zimbabwe. President Mnangagwa saying, oh, the ones who were arrogant left. That's not the case. Many of us could not go back. Many of us didn't want to leave Zimbabwe. And many of us had friends and family have their lands taken from them, even though we'd been there decades. And even after that, people that I know had bought mines and had bought land, and they're still going in and they're saying, oh no, you can't keep that. We're taking it over. It's being taken over by the government, and then it will be given to the people that we want to have it, and it's usually black people. So what about the rest of us? What about the rest of us who were born there and who are not black? You're punishing people for what the colonizers did centuries ago, and you're making us into slaves. You're not allowing us to come up. You're not allowing us to be reunited with our families. You're not allowing us to progress in life, to get good paid jobs. That's the injustice of the world today. That's the injustice. It is. Because even when you study, you work hard, you study, you graduate, you get 3 degrees, you get a diploma in spiritual direction, you keep upgrading your skills, you do right by the country like Canada, you still can't come up. And you can't go to America, because in America, even if you have the right papers, they might still deport you because you're not white, or they might still hurt you because you're not white. Don't think that the 50s were so fantastic, the golden age, like they're calling it. It wasn't so fantastic. I wasn't born then, but I've seen the videos. I know the history. It wasn't so fantastic. And if you don't believe me, you can listen to the artists like Bruce Springsteen. You can listen to him. He's saying it, and he's there. He's in New Jersey. So it's racism and it's discrimination. And in Zimbabwe, it's reverse racism. Because the way that President Mnangagwa is talking is not nice. And it's not fair. If that's how they're going to talk, then everybody should just stop investing in Africa. Because they're coming up and they're doing well now because people are investing in Africa. Because it makes sense to invest, because there's population growth, because there's arable land, there's land that is good there. It makes sense to invest in warm countries. There's the mining. But you go there, you go to those mines, you see the unsafe working conditions, you see how they have to go down and there's no equipment, proper equipment and all that. It's not a joke. So they mustn't pretend like, oh yeah, and make a big joke about it, because it's not. It's not. It's not funny. To me, it's not funny. So, and even here in Canada, you can have all the qualifications that I've got. You can have the designation for HR. You can have proven yourself in the workplace. You'll still be sitting at home. It's 2 years now for me without an income. And it's not right. It's not. I can tell you now, it's not right. I mean, even if I was always the one that had to take whatever was available, I could never hold out for that perfect job paying over 70,000 or those HR manager or HR director roles, because I've got to work and I've got to put food on the table. And I mean, even now, I can't even go and have my eyes checked. I don't have that $90 to go and have my eyes checked. And then if your glasses, if you want to have a good pair of glasses, you're looking at $300, $400 at the minimum. You go to any of these stores, maybe if you go to Specsavers or somewhere like that, you'll get them. But those glasses don't last. They don't last. Like I bought some from Clearly, and they lasted maybe 2 months, and then the frame broke. Because it's not a good quality that you're buying. So that's the injustice of the world today. That's the injustice of what's happening. in Canada. So now they're debating that law still. They want to still criminalize the Christians. It's very, very scary. It's very frightening. I mean, yes, I'm happy for Zimbabwe. They're starting to come up, but there's still a lot of problems there. There's still a lot of insecurity. There's still a lot of people without work. So I'm happy they're being called to the table and they can give their opinions and all that. I also don't pay much attention to Venezuela and all these other countries because it's got nothing to do with me. I'm interested in Canada. And Zimbabwe I'm interested in because I grew up there. And South Africa, I went to university there. But I mean, all these other places, I don't know them. I don't know much about them. I haven't even seen as much of Africa as I wanted to see. I always wanted to travel through Africa and see the different places. I never got to do that because then I left and I came here and I started from scratch. And even now, I'm still looking for work every day, applying for jobs, sending out my resume, changing it according to what job they're recruiting for. It's very, very hard. So it's not fair of Mr. Mnangagwa to say that. Not everybody left because they were arrogant. Many, many people, including black people, didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice. And with me, even when I spoke out, even I told all these MPs what happened to me at Credit Suisse. I told all the MPs, I wrote to all the political parties, because it's not just happening to the Filipino women, it's happening to us. And my mother didn't raise me to accept that kind of treatment and to go into people's houses and clean for them and then have sex. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. Maybe some of the whites, that's how they raise their children, or other cultures. You see it when they have this global citizen, they talk about it. How it's the parents that take them and then tell them, yeah, you have to do it. It's rubbish. And that's completely against biblical values. It's completely against what we are supposed to stand for as Christians. It's wrong. It's wrong. It only benefits the men. Now the women, some of the women are also doing it with the men. But it's wrong. And anyway, I just watch because I've still got people in Zimbabwe. I enjoyed the country very much. So it was my home for many, many years. That's where I was born. But this thing of saying that, oh yeah, people are arrogant, that's not true. It's not true. And it's unfair of them. Many of their children are sent here. I've worked with people in the call centers. Many of the black elite, they send their children here. They send them here to work in call centers and to accept the rough treatment that we go through. Because they want them to know that what it's like. Or they send them to go and work on the farms and do the manual labor and all that. They send them. And they sitting at home in Africa in director level jobs, in banking, in finance, in the hospitals. I met people here. So, it's very hard. It's very, very hard. Well, I know my grandfather wouldn't have. If he was alive, he would never tolerate people treating me like this. Well, these others don't care. They're like, oh, well, that's how it is. I'm like, yeah, that's how it is. I'm going to fight for my life. You got to fight. I'm not willing to let people treat me like that, like I'm a prostitute, touching me all the time, sending me stupid text messages about, oh, if we coming to have an orgy at your house, or we coming to have a harem party and all that. It's rubbish. And it's insulting. For a spiritual director and a Christian woman, it's insulting. I worked my way up in this country. Nothing was given to me. And as for America saying that, oh, they are a compassionate nation, and criticizing me, saying, oh, I didn't show compassion on the calls, I didn't show any empathy. What empathy did you have for me when my uncles wanted to take me to America? because my dad died when I was 5 years old. What empathy did you have? What words of compassion did you have for me? And for my mother, you had none. Just like Canada. At least Canada took me in and said, yes, okay, you can come, but we're telling you it's going to be very, very hard for you because people here are not like the people in England. At least they warned me. But yeah, that's how it goes. I'm still continuing to send out my applications, and I hope I get a break. I hope I get something good. Because I deserve it. I've worked damn hard, and I've lifted people up out of poverty, including in Zimbabwe. I went to the locations with my grandfather to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked. We took people in, we educated people in Zimbabwe. People might not think that I've done much, but I've done a lot with my volunteering, with my time, with my money. I've done a lot in Canada. I hope I get a break, because I deserve it. I deserve it. I'm also a child of God. I also have God-given talents. I also have good decision-making skills. I am worthy. Mnangagwa is not the only one that's worthy. I'm also worthy. He might think that we are arrogant because we left. What choice did he give us? What choice did he give the white farmers? What choice did they really give us? Nothing. That's the injustice of my life.